Welcome to week 7 of the 7 things that we are ditching in 2023. Now, I'm sending this to everyone because I think it's an important topic. So even if that is not something that you signed up for, I'm sharing this video to everyone because I think that it's really important to one of the major things that we do in this new year and forever is that we ditch quick fixes in fad diets. I'm Dr. Whitney Donahue, naturopathic physician, professional applied kinesiologist, and your lifestyle medicine expert. So when I talk about ditching fad diets and quick fixes, it's for a number of reasons. I'm sure that everyone is sick of all of the latest things that come out over and over and over again. There's so many come out on the daily that it's hard to even keep track. And then just to implement them, to see if they even work is just, it's overwhelming. And it's also a lot of really disheartening because we have all of these things that are full of empty promises and they don't really deliver anything. Or if it is something that you're interested in and it's something that you try to implement, oftentimes we find that it doesn't really hit the 2-week mark, maybe the 30-day mark if we're lucky and super motivated, but they don't have the sustainability to make changes for us long term. They're really restrictive, and they're just not something that can be implemented into your life on a regular basis. They also oftentimes aren't very healthy for us. So even if it was something that you could stick to for a little longer, it ultimately might end up doing more harm than good at the end of the day because it's not meant to be long term, and that's not what your body wants. And so this year, I really want to encourage people to start really just building the foundations of health that are going to be sustainable over time. And yes, you're going to get the most amazing results that are not just for weight loss, not just to decrease your pain, not just to look younger or feel younger, right? You're going to sleep better, you're going to have more energy, you're going to have more resilience to take on life. And that's what's really important. And so the beautiful thing about building these strong foundations is the aesthetic part of things, like the weight loss, the looking younger, all of those things are what I call happy side effects of building those foundations of health. And so that's really sustainable things because I don't know about you, but I plan on being in here for the long haul, which means I want to get the most out of life. And that means not only the days in my life, the quantity of time, but most importantly, the quality of time. I want to feel energized and happy and have the energy to do all the things that I love in my life and with the people that I love for as long as possible. And so that starts with doing things that are going to get you there today, and just putting in the work over time to get your outcome. Some things might come sooner than others, but the whole idea is to do what works in your life and makes the most sense. So I'm going to quickly talk about fad diets and why I don't like them, but also why they work. So the one thing we have to keep in mind with fad diets, no matter what end of the spectrum you are on. So we have the keto carnivore side over here, and we have the vegan vegetarian side over here. So the one thing, and then a whole hodgepodge of things in the middle, but one of the things that makes these things successful, no matter what side of the road that you are on, because I'm sure you've heard stories from many people that are like, oh, I went keto and it saved my life, or oh, I was vegetarian and it saved my life, right? We have all these really miraculous stories. And the reason why both ends of the spectrum have had success is because they are all elimination diets. Now in the medical field, we do elimination diets to help really eliminate things that are we call them obstacles to cure. So we're eliminating the things that are causing issues in the body as much as possible, to really zero in on what else is going on. So by eliminating these things, we're allowing the body to heal naturally. So that's the goal here. But these extreme diets, they have that in common, is that they're elimination diets. So not only are they cutting out processed, packaged, and fast food, that's the one thing. They're cutting out we're eliminating that spectrum of food, which is highly processed, and our body doesn't know how to utilize it, and it surely doesn't know how to use it as fuel, which is why it causes so many issues in our body over time. The other thing is that each of these will also cut out whole food groups. And that's where we run into the restrictive aspect of this, is that, we're cutting out animal products. We're fully cutting out, vegetables. And so the difference between them is that not only are they elimination diets, but then they also choose which single food group to eat, or maybe one or two. So this is what makes them really hard to stick with, is because they are so restrictive. So yes, there are times in our lives where doing one of these diets is recommended, medically speaking, and may save your life. And that is a completely, those are completely necessary, but also, that's how they were created. That's what they were created for. They weren't created for the average person to just cut out huge amounts of food groups and different things like that. And so they have their time and their place, and they're really valuable for the short term or whatever they're designed to do. Okay, but for you, the average person, for you and me, just trying to live our healthiest lives and lose some weight and put on some muscle and get rid of brain fog and get more energy and better sleep, we really need something to focus on that's more sustainable. And that's why ditching and just kind of blocking out all this craziness and jumping on the bandwagon of the newest, latest, and greatest is going to get you the results that you want. So when we speak about sustainable food groups or sustainable diet that we would like to implement, I like to be somewhere in the middle, okay? On the whole spectrum of things, I like to be somewhere in the middle. In the middle here, we are still cutting out packaged and processed fast foods because, again, like I said, they're not real food. They are highly processed, and our body just doesn't know how to utilize it. So this is removing one giant obstacle to cure, which means that if we can eliminate those type of foods, we give our body so much room to heal itself and feel better naturally, and then we're giving it fuel. And so in the middle here, we are eating good amount of protein, lean meats, clean cuts, right? So grass-fed, grass-finished beef, wild caught fish, all of those good things. But again, remember, we're doing the best we can. So if you don't have those available or they're too expensive for your budget, do what you can. Getting in healthy protein sources is more important than not doing it at all because you don't have access to those certain things. Eggs are also a really great protein source. Eating lean meats, fruits and vegetables, so organic if necessary, or organic if possible, but again, not necessary because of budget and different things like that. So leaning into those whole foods, when we talk about whole foods that come from the earth and come from the ground and support our body, and our body knows how to utilize it, lean meats, fruits and vegetables, staying on the lower end, the lower glycemic end for fruits is going to be, dark berries. They hold so many nutrients that are really good for us. But again, because of the way we eat them with the skin and everything, organic is best. Again, going with healthy fats, which are nuts and seeds, coconut oil, avocados, olive oil, all of those things. And so staying and focusing on whole foods that leaves you so much food to eat. And so it's far less restrictive and more sustainable over time. And then once you really get down to eating as sustainably and as healthy as possible, then later on you can play with the macros in terms of protein, fat, and carb intake and mess with that to reach your goals. If there are more weight loss goals or muscle gain or whatever your goal is, then you can kind of play with those as you go. But really just eating and focusing on whole foods is the entire goal here, staying in the middle and just living your life and being happy and healthy without all of these extreme diets. So I hope that's helpful in understanding why these fad diets work, why people get results from them, but also why they are really difficult to sustain over time. And so here I want you to ditch all the fad diets and focus on eating whole foods, and it gives you a much broader range of foods to eat, and it creates so much more sustainability that we can do this over the long haul. And it's something that we can implement into your life and give you tools to navigate that. So if you have any questions, let me know. We are going to take a deep dive into this in my program called the Bulletproof Your Body. So that will be coming up in the next couple weeks. So stay tuned for all of that information where we will deep dive into more of this. And I will give you so many tools on how to implement this and be able to really sustain this over time and get the health results that you're looking for. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you shortly, and happy ditching all the fad diets. What a relief, huh?